Welcome to the Time is Ripe podcast. Time is Ripe is a digital journal podcast of Ripe Creatives. Ripe Creatives is a ministry that leverages the arts for the purpose of missions here in Philadelphia and around our region. Time is Ripe is hosted by Ripe Creatives founder Scott Smith and features various guests from within the Ripe community and our extended family. Each episode focuses on a specific experience that our team hosted here in the city or an outside event where someone from our team was booked to perform. We hope you enjoyed today's episode.
Y'all might have lost your way, but I'm still out here living my purpose. Know that I'm the best to do it when I'm living the service. Once you see light, you understand that sin is whack. Be aware, wolves plotting on the next.
What's up, fam? Welcome back to the Time is Right podcast. My name is Scott Smith, and I'm your host here on this crazy thing called the Time is Ripe. Today is a very fun day. I've been looking forward to this one for a very long time. It's probably going to be one of the more unique episodes on season 4 here on the podcast because I think we're going to spend a heck of a lot more time just talking to our guests, sharing stories, having a good time, instead of, the typical thing of like focusing on one specific event and, leaning into that. Now, we do have a date that we're going to focus on to some degree, but we'll probably get there like 75% of the way through this podcast. So if you're just here because of the title of this episode and you're like, I want to hear about that thing, just scroll ahead. Don't do that because I think the best parts of this conversation are early. But, we are going to be talking about Friday, September 12th, 2025. There was a conference called Change Makers. It was hosted at American Bible Society downtown in a crazy nice space. Pastor Jamie and Virgy Centeno put it on as part of One City, One Love. And it's like a great thing. And we're going to talk about that conference. But we have a whole lot to do with this guest. This is her first time on this podcast. Shout out to the first timers. And I want to set the record straight. Okay, I've said this on maybe 3 or 4 episodes that my particular guest at the time was the person I knew the longest. That was not true because of today. I've known this woman since like 2008, 2009, really well, I'd say since 2010. So it's over 15 years, probably 16, 17 years since the recording of this podcast. She does so many things, okay? She is a dear friend. She runs this organization you're going to hear all about. She's one of the most bold ambassadors for Jesus ever. I'm so excited. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, welcome to the podcast, Peace Ike.
Scott, now you're making me look really good now, okay? So people are going to get their expectations up. So I have to meet them. But I'm so happy to be here.
Peace, you deserve all the expectations on this podcast, okay? She has her own podcast. It's called Set the Table, Tough Topics, Kind Conversations. Oh, love the tag. So she's a great podcaster. She's far better than me. She's on this one with me. But Peace, before we get into like all the fun things, who are you? What do you do from your vantage point? Like, what's your introduction? It's something we ask all of our first-time guests to do. If you ever come back, you won't have to do it again, but you do have to do it. Now, who are you, Peace Ike?
Who am I? What do I do? Well, I am a lot of things. I like to say I'm a connector. I'm a communicator. I'm a lover of people. But most importantly, I'm a lover of God. And I do a lot of things. I am an executive coach and a community organizer with some of the work I was doing in Germantown. We'll touch on that. And now with the work I'm doing now, I do a lot of training and teaching, coaching and consulting. But the whole purpose of what I do is to really bring people together in a way that they can overcome differences and really build unity that drives a shared mission and a shared goal and a shared purpose. And bringing God into that just illuminates that potential. So God is at the center of everything that I do.
Amen. A bridge builder, a ministry of reconciliation wrapped up in human form. That's Peace Ike. Yeah. It's been a real honor to know you. and to just like cheer you on. I've said this to you both privately, and I think I've said it online publicly, like your dinner and discussion nights that I've seen you do over the years. Just one of my favorite things that I've like ever seen. Like it just felt like such a warm and potent response to what's been happening in our country with polarization. And I was just like, oh, this is like the best thing ever. And then to watch your journey of going from hosting nights to like a calling and starting an entire organization around that heart and that theme of your life, I'm just like so stinking proud of you. Talk to us about like Set the Table in terms of the organization. Like when did that get founded? Everything you're doing on that front in particular.
Yeah. So I founded Set the Table officially in fall of 2024, so about a year ago, and launched it this May, which was my public kind of releasing it to the public, debuting the work we're doing. And Set the Table is really an outworking of the work I had done for several years prior. And it might be hard to talk about Set the Table without talking about the gathering place first.
Yep.
So I wonder if I should touch on some of the nonprofit work
Absolutely.
I was doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in 2017, I moved into Germantown, Philly, which is the area that I live right now. And I'd been familiar with the neighborhood. I'd done some work in the neighborhood. Me and my sister had done some music, some performances in the area, which we'll touch on as well. And I just felt called to move there. And there's a whole God story on how that even happened and how God kind of like highlighted the exact street in the exact house that I ended up purchasing my home on and moving into. But I quickly felt the calling to create a community space. And it was initially a space for women who wanted to do life together, who wanted to grow together, hold each other accountable, but also just be each other's keeper. And so when I ran with that vision, God quickly met me there and just brought people into the home who wanted that very thing. Mm-hmm. And within about a month after I had bought the home, every room was full in the home.
It's crazy.
And it was just so cool. Like, there's that slogan, if you build it, they will come. And I feel like that's been the slogan of my life. So quickly, I found myself in a community home environment where I was kind of playing a leadership role in the lives of 5 other women. And, we actually started with 1 guy and 4 women, but that didn't last long. Stories for days. Stories for another time. But yeah, over time, those housemates, their friends would come and their friends would crash the couch. And it just my home became a safe place for people. Yeah. And I remember the time that one person said, you know what, you should name this place the Gathering Place. And so I didn't do it for a while because I was like, that name is definitely taken. But in time, I ended up looking it up, and there were some details about how I ended up securing that name, but it was meant for me to have. It was ready for me to grab. And so I went ahead, I licensed it as a community space and eventually turned it into a nonprofit. And from there, we did all sorts of outreach. We did open mic nights. We did concerts, a lot of artistic and musical outreaches because I was a musician, so it was very natural for me. We did movie nights. I ran a worship night monthly. We had a women's fellowship. I mean, you name it. But the flagship initiative that was like the sweet spot was what you mentioned a few minutes ago, dinner and discussion. And we brought 10 strangers together, never met, different race, different religion, different politics, different age, gender. And they would all sign up to attend. It was a potluck, so they would bring a dish and they bring one question they wanted to pose at the dinner table. So when they arrive, they put the question in a hat. We sit down, we get to know each other on a human level. And then once we felt comfortable with each other, we would eat, break bread, and pull questions out of the hat and dialogue for hours. And that was, it was a beautiful thing, People came in thinking they were going to be throwing fists. They left hugging. And these are people who voted differently, who had different ideologies, different opinions. And I quickly realized that what I was doing in the home was the very thing that the world needed. And so that led me to founding Set the Table. And that's what I do now.
What does Set the Table actually do?
So Set the Table, we are a training organization, and our heart is just to see culture transform no matter where you are, no matter what you do. So you mentioned earlier, we do trainings for faith-based communities. We do trainings for secular communities. So for churches, we have staff training. How do you work together well so that your congregation is well shepherded? We have evangelism trainings, I call it, in missional engagement trainings to teach your staff and your congregation, like, how do I actually engage with people who don't know the Lord and be influential in doing it? And then one thing I'm working on right now, which I'm excited, is a training called Dignity in the Divide, which is all about how we navigate political differences. And this is going to be a virtual training that church communities can take their own communities through with journaling and dialogue prompts. So that should be out sometime at the end of this year or the beginning of next year. And if you're a workplace leader, we have company culture trainings. If you're a camp counselor, we've got team harmony trainings. Listen, there's something for everyone.
Ooh, I love it. Oh, I hope you guys understand how good this is going to be. It's already good. We can just end the podcast right there. Go look up Set the Table, figure out how to be a part of it, and that's the end, I mean, that would be enough. Peace, I'm super proud of you. And just, I don't say that like in a weird way of like, oh, I'm proud of you. Like, I'm just super grateful for all that you've done for our city and world. As somebody who's been to the Gathering Place quite a few times in my life, that has had this kind of overlapping story with you and your sister Joy, who's also a musician, which I guess we can probably dive into some of that history as well. To just watch it happen, like the Gathering Place is a beautiful space. It's like excellent in the way that it's been created and cultivated, and to know how many people's lives were touched there. I think for some folks, it's been the closest expression of church that they've experienced, right? And not to say that you're trying to replace the church, but sometimes the church needs to go out and be the church.
Come on.
And not just get people to come to church. And I think the Gathering Place has been like an arm to reach people at so many different levels, whether that be through the open mic nights and everything else. But as a bird's eye viewer of the dinner and discussion nights, I was just like, oh yeah, this is hopeful.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I felt. Like the despair you feel on social media looking at what people type and put out into the world. Dinner and discussion was like, this is an antidote to this sickness, this illness that's in all of us that can only see the other side with hate. How do we fix that? We got to get people in the room together.
You got it.
And restore Imago Dei, restore image bearer viewpoints and lens to see other people with. So yeah, you've been doing that faithfully for a long time.
Yeah, and no, I want to add that, like, people always, when they hear what I was doing or they hear what I'm doing, they're like, well, how did you do that? Like, how did you make that work? And this is why I believe God has to be at the center of this kind of work, because, bringing strangers together and having a fruitful conversation that doesn't end badly is becoming harder and harder and harder. But the one thing about the Gathering Place is that there was a culture that had been established there for years. And that culture was centered around things of God. It was centered around worship. It was centered around prayer. And people would always arrive and be like, oh, your house feels so peaceful. Like, what is this? And one time, I can remember the one time someone came to one of our events and they were like, I feel like I'm at church, but I know I'm not at church. And this was not a believer at all. Like, this was just a random person who didn't have a faith journey. So, like, there are things people can feel about our lives that we don't have to say with our actual words, but we carry that by the presence that we bring. And that goes before anything that we speak or anything that we do. So when it comes to the climate that we're facing right now in the world, we're so much about, saying the right things, trying to win the argument. But I really wish that we could pull back and be like, okay, what do people feel in my presence? Because it always starts there.
That's good. Oh, that's challenging too. Amen. Yeah, Peace is, she's a coach, guys. If you need coaching, she's also a consultant of sorts. And especially for like churches, ministries, businesses, schools, any level of like, hey, we have a staff group of people and we are trying to cultivate a better culture. I think Peace is somebody you need to really consider bringing in to work with your people, whether that's from the faith lens or even the non-faith lens, sacred, secular spaces. I mean, obviously Peace is who she is. She's going to carry Jesus everywhere she goes, but she can navigate any type of space to bring a level of clarity of where, not uniformity, but unity, right? I think is really, really important. Caveat there. Peace, we don't have to do this, but I just think it's kind of fun that we've known each other as long as we have. Do you remember like how and when we met? Because I know I met your sister first, Joy.
Oh, dang it.
Did we meet like at one of Joy's shows? I'm going way back into the archives here.
I honestly, this has been one of those friendships that has existed for so long that I don't remember exactly when it started. But I know it was like some kind of ministry thing or music thing. I was thinking it was Jubilee.
It might have been Jubilee.
Yeah.
I think you might be right. Probably 2010 Jubilee is when I think you and I would have met. I had met Joy before that because Joy would come up and play at Grove City College when you guys were still with Squirrel Hill, Monroeville.
Yep.
Dang, yo, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So I was a student at Grove City. Joy would come up and play some shows at like what was that place called? Common
Grounds.
Common Grounds, I think, or
it's
something.
Like a coffee
Fresh
shop,
Grounds or
something like that.
Yeah, in Grove City town.
Yeah.
And then Joy also played a show, I think, on campus. And Joy and I kind of hit it off because in 2010, I started writing poetry.
Yeah.
That was Jubilee, and then write my first poem because of Amina Brown Owen.
Oh, yes.
You remember her?
Of course. Yeah.
And so I read my first spoken word piece. It wasn't any good, but I performed it. And then Joy, I don't know what that was in her. I guess it's just kingdom generosity and kindness, right? She was like, anytime I'm playing, I want you to perform.
Wow. Yeah.
She just basically was like, you can come on tour with me, which I couldn't go on tour with her actually. But she was like, if I'm around and I'm playing a show, I want you to do poetry on my show. And that was like a crazy place to start, because your sister's amazing. She was Pittsburgh's best solo artist, 3, 4, 5 years in a row?
Yeah.
According to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
Yeah. She's something.
So for her to like welcome this random kid who doesn't know anything about poetry, who just started writing poetry, that's starting to perform poetry, and be like, I am so impacted by this. I want my fan base, my audience to be impacted by that. That was really, I'm not who I am today without your sister doing that, honestly, as an artist.
Yeah.
And then I think you're right. In 2010, we would have met at Jubilee.
Yeah.
When did you actually move to Philly, though?
See, this is why I'm not sure we met in 2010, because I moved to Philly in 2010. I moved to Philly October 1st, 2010, and I knew you for a minute before I left.
You're right.
So
we had to have met before that.
2008 or 2009.
Yeah, it's got to be 08, 09.
Yeah, we're coming up on 18 years or something
17,
like
18
that.
years.
Yeah.
There is a child graduating high school for as long as we've known each other. That's
so
insane.
true. Yeah.
Okay, so you move in 2010. Summer of 2011, I come and do the internship at the Philly Project.
Yes, yeah.
You were like one of 3 people I knew in Philadelphia.
Yep.
Because I ended up moving to Philadelphia, away from my family, stepped out in faith to step on staff full-time with Philly Project, raise my own support. Doing that, the only 3 people I really knew were you, Chris Cav, and Lindsay Smith, now Lindsay McAleese. Those are the only 3 people I knew in the
I
city
remember
of
those
Philadelphia.
days.
And, but yeah, like we started hanging out even back then. You were doing physical therapy world stuff, PT.
Yep.
In, different offices or in people's homes or whatever you were doing. I'm just kind of getting my bearings with the Philly Project. And then I think maybe a year in or 2 years in, my intern staffs at the Philly Project, we started doing family nights at your home.
Yeah.
Even before you had the gathering place.
Yeah.
Because I think you were in like Manayunk.
Yeah, absolutely. It was like the spirit of the gathering place before we actually made it official. Yeah.
Yeah. And what was really cool is like we would create an open mic space for the interns basically.
Yep.
Because all these people that came and interned with the Philly Project, even though the internship had nothing to do with the arts, most of them were artists.
I know,
which is part of that like gravitational pull, I think, in my own life of just, I'm a attracted to artists. Artists are attracted to me. I'm not in a weird way, just like
you got that artist
magnetic, right? And so a lot of these interns were poets. They were singers. They were rappers. So we would do these family nights at the beginning of the summer at your house, and it would just turn into like an all-night party, open mic night with performances from everybody.
Yeah.
Sometimes Joy would come in for that night to also be on the like night with you. And I just remember those being like so sweet.
Oh my gosh.
Like so refreshing, so beautiful, and like was a part of knitting the DNA of the team together. That, you know, I think programmatically you'd look at it like, where are you guys going? What are you doing? You know, from a leadership standpoint, it's like, just trust me. This is like a part of the secret sauce that's going to make the whole summer successful.
Yeah.
Because there's so much vulnerability in art.
Yes.
So when people are sharing their art, they're sharing their soul. And it helps you go like 3 or 4 levels deeper than just, hey, let's all get along now, you know?
Yeah.
So I remember those being really impactful.
Yeah, yeah. Those are special memories. I mean, I feel like it was just, you know, Facebook is prophetic. I feel like it was just a couple months ago, Facebook popped up a memory one of those nights of your interns, like doing some kind of impromptu hip hop song. And I was like, like all the warm feelings came back, and now we're talking about it, you know, so.
Yeah. Well, and it's crazy is, so we did that for a few years. Then you opened the Gathering Place in 2017. We start doing those there. But then you guys start doing your own open mics in the home. And I got to go to many of those over the years and met a ton of the artists that we know to this day. But Jarrett probably doesn't even know this story. Shout out to Top Mop Productions over there doing the sound. But we launched Creatives Philly in 2018 in the spring. This is before Ripe Creatives as a ministry even existed. Darlene and I launched the platform. You and your sister were on the first ever Creatives at High Point.
Yeah.
You were one of the incognito features. Our next Creatives event was in your house.
Yeah.
Our second ever Creatives. We're like, 60, 70, 80 of these things in now.
Yeah.
Number 2 was at the Gathering Place.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about.
It's crazy to think about. And, you know, as we go through like the timeline of our relationship, it just hit me. You said that you launched Creatives in 2018, and I officially got my certificate of activity for the Gathering Place in 2018. It was June 2018. So I think you and I officially launched both of our organizations within like 2 months of each other in the same year.
Yeah, so 2018 is whenever we launched Creatives Philly, the platform. The nonprofit side, we didn't launch for another year. But yeah, I mean, we probably were one of the first things at the Gathering Place after you became official, to be honest.
Definitely.
It might have actually been the first. I think that's why we did it together.
I think
because it was like, let's pilot a concept
definitely
together.
Yeah.
Now, what we found was doing our open mic in a house, it was like, this isn't the right fit for this.
Yeah.
Because ours was like, I mean, we eventually got to the point, we have a DJ, we have a live band.
Totally.
It's like production.
Yeah.
And a house, like, we're not going to like bring in a stage and put it in your living room, right?
Yeah.
But it was such a sweet night. And I remember Bernardo, if you remember Bernardo, he cooked that night and like made food for everybody.
Yep.
But seriously, like some of our fondest memories as Creatives Philly were with you, your sister, your home early on. And, you know, we didn't host another Creatives until after Ripe Creatives overall was launched a year later.
Yeah.
And I think by that point you were like, I'm not doing outside events.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do my own events.
Totally.
Because you were like, this is ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. In fact, when I started the Gathering Place, it was a for-profit. You know, this is just a side note. Sometimes people give you good ideas. You don't always have to take them. And someone's like, oh, you know, you could rent out your space and, you know, like, you know, you can make a profit and people could come and do this and that. And then I started getting requests to do all sorts of gatherings in my house. I was like, not in this house. No. I was like, you can't pay me enough to do that in my house.
We want to do a particular kind of show in your house.
Exactly.
Like, no, thank you.
So honestly, it became very clear to me. In fact, I ended up, after months of just being like, I'm not really taken much from folks because I don't even feel like I'm supposed to take much from folks. After a couple months of that, I was like, okay, yeah, this is not a for-profit. And it took a while before I actually got the paperwork to change it over to the next format. But yeah.
I mean, and you also were doing a lot at the Gathering Place yourself.
Yes.
I mean, you already mentioned the list, but I mean, I remember you're like, and this Saturday we have a women's retreat, and like in the house, and then on Monday we're doing a movie night. On Thursday we have an open mic. You know, Friday Jess Ray's in town, and she's gonna be doing a concert. I was like, what the heck?
I know, right?
You guys need like a friggin' calendar, you know, on your website.
We were busy
with all this stuff you guys were doing.
Yeah, and shout out to my housemates because literally they were all about it. Like, of all the ladies that came and went, they loved it. There might have been one or two times when the ladies like, oh, do we have something this weekend? Oh, okay. I guess I won't have my family over or something like that. But that was not a common occurrence. They literally loved it. And for the majority of the years, all the ladies that lived there were like integral in the house culture, in the Gathering Place culture. So I was really blessed in that way.
Yeah. Yeah, it was beautiful to witness and watch and to get to come to stuff, you know? I mean, so many people. I think that's one of the really fun things about you and your sister's story, and specifically yours with the Gathering Place. And I mean this with no offense to any friend that will ever watch this, but like the Gathering Place would gather like the misfit toys, you know?
Yes.
And I mean that in the most endearing kind way. Just like we're a bunch of weirdos, you know? Artists and creative types, people who deconstructed and walked away from their faith, or people that were coming out of like an occult type situation. Just like the wildest stories all amalgamated into one room.
Yes.
And it's just like, man, that is who Peace Ike is. Like, you just are this big, warm hug, but also like stern and strong about your convictions. Like I remember one thing you used to say to people, and I just will steal it for the rest of my life, was like, take whatever you want, but eat what you take. You know?
I think that was a Joy Ike comment.
That might be Joy.
That's a Mama Joy comment. I'm gonna give her credit.
I'm saying, no, that's like the house culture.
Yes.
Of like, you can have as much of you want as this.
Got it.
But make sure you get it all, eat it all. Like, we're not gonna waste anything.
Right.
And yeah, it just was like, yeah. But I think it was beyond just food.
It was beyond food.
You know?
Yeah, I think like there's something special when culture formation is different than just creating a safe space. You know, the two are integral, but we have a lot of places that are just comfortable places for people to be, and they come in and they leave the same way they came, and we thank God for those places, but there are specific people who are called to be culture shapers, who are depositing something into the lives of the people that come into their space. And I always knew from a young age that I was supposed to be a culture shaper, a culture transformer. Like, oh yeah, come in, all are welcome, but I'm gonna leave you with something to think about. I'm gonna do it in love, and I'm gonna do it with grace. And I think that is why that atmosphere was created at the Gathering Place. And people knew that, and they still loved it, and they still came back. They came back each and every time.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it was incredibly special to watch. I'll probably say that 12 more times in this episode. But I also wanted to throw out one other date here. We kind of skipped past it because I just want to say thank you for this. Is mine and Darlene's engagement party.
Oh, yes.
If you guys remember that, I had this whole elaborate plan. I'm not going to put it on the podcast, but it ended with a party at Darlene's mama's house across the street from my parents, where all of our friends and family were there. It was a surprise, walk in with a blindfold. But you and Joy were the entertainment of the night. I mean, I think the fun, the food, the festivity, the excitement was probably just as much the entertainment. But you guys played a full set for us and for our friends and family as a way to celebrate our engagement. Like, yeah, I just want to say thank you for that.
Aww.
Because you drove all the way from Philadelphia just to be at my part of our engagement.
Yeah.
So thank you for that as well.
Oh, it was our
very
pleasure.
fond memory.
Yeah, that was a great night. I remember, and just it was fun to get to walk through. I mean, I knew you before you met Darlene. I knew when you got engaged. I was at your wedding, and I'm hearing you guys have your first son, and so it's just been fun to kind of journey along life with you.
Yeah, it's been good. Oh man, thank you so much for being a part of that. Joy, we love you too. We wish you were here to be on this episode as well. Super grateful for both of the Ike sisters. I actually recently just saw your sister on an episode that we'll probably do in a few episodes from now, an event that we had, and Joy was there. And I was like, no, family. Let's dive into this whole conference that we got to be a part of together. The date that we told you we were going to talk about, I think I was right, halfway through, 75% of the way through this episode. We're finally back there. Changemakers, September 12th, 2025. It was a Friday morning, afternoon. It was at American Bible Society. How'd you get connected to like the Changemakers thing? And what was your role in the day itself?
Yeah, so the Changemakers Conference, I was contacted by Jamie Centeno and Virgy Centeno. So they were the ones who hosted the event. And I used to be a part of their church, actually, years and years ago. And we've just kind of kept in relationship, I guess, 13 years now. And they had seen that I was doing Set the Table, doing coaching, doing training, consulting, and also they had followed my dialogue and my conversational work, the dinner and discussions. And so they just wanted to see if there was a way that we could work together on this conference. And what ended up happening is they called me in to MC a couple panels throughout the day. And so I was able to interview some very influential and very impressive culture shapers. And it was really, it was quite an honor to get to meet and not just meet people, but sit with people I already knew, like you, and dig into what you do for the city of Philadelphia. I was really humbled by some of the work that some of those panelists were doing in the city. And it was everything from those who are working in the arts, like you, in the hospitality space as well, to those who are leading community initiatives to kind of bring up and raise up the inner city, whether it's in financial literacy or legal assistance that, certain areas maybe cannot afford. I was just thankful. I was thankful that there are people who see the need and are willing to be the hands and feet of God, and not just saying, okay, I believe this thing and I'm a Christian and, this is how I live. But no, like, I'm going to actually put my feet in my hands where my mouth is and make a difference in my community and in my city. So it was a really special day.
Yeah, it was actually incredible. The only challenge I would give it at all is how do we get more people to come to it?
Totally.
Because the content itself was fantastic. And I know it was like kind of put together relatively late, right? Like last minute, like we just want to do this.
Yeah.
And it was a big pivot for Pastor Jamie and Pastor Virgy to go from the One City, One Love festival, prayer conference, prayer night worship thing that had been at like the Dell Music Center in years past or at Hunting Park. Like, it's been kind of all over the city. And to switch from that to like a conference model, but I think it was brilliant.
Yeah.
I think what they're trying to do was so great. And everybody who was on it was so impressive.
So impressive.
You also led worship.
I did a little worship.
You did. We got to do something together.
Yeah, we did.
I think it was like one of the first times we've ever done that.
Yeah, I think so.
You did a worship song, and then I did like a spoken word that I was going to write something new to. And I was like, you know what? I already have this thing, and it's like around One City, One Love. What if we just implement that into this other song? Yeah. And I thought it went great.
Yeah, I mean, your piece was like made for that song. It felt like it was like the perfect, marriage. So
yeah, it was funny. I actually tried to write more lyrics on the end of the piece, and then you and I both you were like, can I tell you? Like, I don't like it. Just keep the original.
Yeah,
I was
totally.
like, that's exactly what I was feeling. I was like, this doesn't need this, does it? You were like, thank goodness you said it. 'Cause I was embarrassed for you. But yeah, it ended up working out. And then the other creative element, so I was going to do another poem later in the day. But I pitched it, AVG to Pastor Jamie, who's a Ripe poet and been super, super involved in everything that we have going on. And so he actually came in and did a poem later in did you do worship in that segment too?
I think I did one song. Yeah.
How was that with you and AVG stuff?
Yeah, once again, it was like his piece lined up perfectly with the song that I sang, and we didn't notice that until after we had done it, and he was like, "Oh, the words in my piece were in your song," And so it's just when things like that happen, it's kind of like a great little nod, that God's like, "Yeah, I worked it out." So
the little God wink.
Yeah.
It's the Holy Spirit is always the best at organizing programs.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we can get so stringent and controlling in our desire to make things great. But
so true.
When God's the one who just does it, it's like it's way better than anything we could have pre-planned.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really, really cool.
Yeah.
The panel discussions were great. I thought you did a fantastic job.
Thanks.
You are a professional podcaster now, so you're going to be great as a conversationalist. But I also felt like you were not just a curator MC that did what was on the bullets. I felt like your teacher heart, your exhorter heart was on display throughout the whole day, where you were like, I'm going to add on to that, you know?
Yeah.
And just driving home a point. Sometimes just affirming what was said or what the work is that somebody's doing or just giving language to what other people in the room were already feeling. Wow, that really is incredible for these reasons. Don't we need more of this? And everybody's like, yeah, we do need more of this. I was just like, man, you were so good at this.
Thank you.
As somebody who loves to MC and curate events, it's one of my favorite things on planet Earth is MCing. You are brilliant at it. You are a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant event MC.
Oh.
You should do more of that.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of a professional dot connector. And, I love looking into a room, looking into a crowd. I'm also a professional people watcher. And I love connecting dots. Like that person said that person said that. Those two themes are connected, and I'm going to loop them together in this way and then regurgitate it. So I really have a lot of fun doing that. And so I had so much fun in that role that day. And, interestingly enough, I met a lot of people that day who I've started new relationships with. And so, I'm going to have the opportunity to MC another event. And so that opened up a couple doors for me.
It's funny you bring that up because that's literally where I was going to go next. One of the things that we do on every episode when we're talking about events is, we'll celebrate the highlights of what actually happened. Everybody who spoke, I think, did a great job. I think Pastor Jamie and Pastor Virgy did a great job. The one thing I would say is American Bible Society, you better figure out if you can hire Top Mod Productions next time. Okay, I'm gonna say that because you guys needed a better sound engineer situation than you gave us. Because you remember
we were struggling.
We're like, come on, dog. We don't even have a mic. But it ended up working out. It was great.
Yeah.
But outside of that, ABS is brilliant.
Yeah.
It's a great space. It's gorgeous. I mean, it is unbelievable the work that they do. Especially that floor, the 9th floor where the the museum kind of area is and the room that we're in. It's just, you're downtown, you're in Philadelphia, it's a really, really nice space.
Yeah.
So I hope they continue to do it there. But outside of what went well, one of the questions we always ask is, what was the impact? What's the fruit of this event? And the fact that you're bringing up, hey, here's another opportunity for me to do this thing that God's clearly gifted me to do from that space. I think that's beautiful. Is there any other just fruit, impact, outcomes from Changemakers 2025?
Yeah, I think I'm not the only one who left with new relationships. I saw a lot of people connecting, and I saw a lot of light bulbs going off for people in the room who were watching panelists describe the work that they're doing and maybe seeing their work in a new light. there was a lot of depth and dimension to some of these, job titles that like we read and we don't understand what really goes into it. Like for example, Leonard Dow, he's a financial advisor, and you hear that title and it can sound a little boring. Some of us have financial advisors, but then you hear more of his story that he used to be a pastor and that his heart is to go into the places that need assistance, that can't get the assistance, and teach them how to steward money. And all of a sudden this turns into a mission and a vision. And I think a lot of people who attended were like, wow, like my work is so much deeper and has so much more capacity than I even recognize. So
yeah, it reminds me of CCO Jubilee DNA.
Yes, absolutely.
A lot. And I think it's always funny because I've always thought about this, how like in maybe more charismatic spaces, there's like the 7 mountains. And I've always been like, oh, that's creation, fall, redemption, restoration, mindsets, kingdom. Yeah. Just different vernacular, right? You guys call it this, they call it this. But the Presbyterians and the charismatics have exactly the same view in some of this. It's kind of funny to me. Yeah. But that's what I felt sitting in that room. I was like, oh, this is like an adult version of Jubilee.
Definitely.
Maybe minus some of the production elements. Yeah. Call Top Mop, all right? Call Top Mop Productions, ABS. It'll get you straight. But outside of like those big, hey, we got thousands of people in the convention center kind of thing, the message of the day, the feel of the day, the like ministry and marketplace. Yeah. Not just how do I become a pastor, but how do I shepherd people within my vocation? Yeah. I mean, that's all stuff that we have 20 years of history plus with CCO Jubilee. So I thought that was really cool. I was like, oh, amen. Yeah. They should probably somehow be connected. Like,
definitely.
Got to get Jamie in touch with Tom Rapchek and Sam Levy and them here with CCO in Philly. Yeah. Because they're trying to accomplish the same exact message being poured out. So
definitely agree.
That was definitely a takeaway for me. I know for me, I was just there. I was vibing out, having a good time. I feel like I never, in rooms like that, right, where, it's a bunch of people who are older than me in some way, I'd never know what the impact is going to be. But I trust, and I think I've seen the fruit of this, that just by being present, right, by being a younger guy, I feel old, but in those rooms, I'm the younger guy, and showing up and being present, we just have a good name. Yeah. I just feel like God has granted us favor and blessing of having Scott Smith. I like that guy. I don't know why. He's a little crazy, but I like him. Or Ripe Creatives. They're doing good work.
Totally.
And I think we're now in that place where just by being present.
Yes.
Showing up. Hey, you need me to be on this panel? I got you.
Totally.
And pray and seek the Lord to like do it well, not flippant about it, but do it in excellence over and over and over again. Did we see a massive donation come in from that event? No. Did we see us get booked for 6 other shows from Changemakers? No.
Right.
But we might.
Right.
We could one day, like it could produce something down the line, because that's how seeds are. They don't sprout immediately sometimes.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it takes years down the line.
Absolutely.
But you can trace it to, Changemakers 2025. That's where I met that guy.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, let this seriously encourage some people who are maybe younger and starting something new, or starting an initiative or an endeavor or a business or a nonprofit. You and I both know what it looks like to be hidden, to be like putting in the hours. Like, listen, y'all who are listening, Scott Smith has listened to a sister cry more than most other men in my life, okay? Like, can I tell you the times where he literally was my lifeline? Because I was like, oh, Scott, I'm working so hard. I don't know what to do. I'm not making waves. No one knows my name. I'll tell you what, the reputation that goes before you is so much more important than, what the numbers are showing about what you're doing with your work. how much you're bringing in. Your reputation goes before you. And I can sit here and say, I've been working at this Philly thing for a very long time. I mean, when I moved here in 2010, I kind of hit the ground running with ministry stuff. It's just because it's in my DNA, like leadership is in my DNA. And I would say for the majority of the 15 years, and of course there are people who have been doing this longer than me, generations longer, but for the majority of my 15 years, I was very hidden. No one really knew about the gathering place. Unless you'd been there, you didn't know what was happening there. And, it wasn't until I even chose to say, okay, I'm going to take what I'm doing out of my living room and I'm going to take it out. I'm going to set the table because I have something to offer. I can teach what I've been doing. I can train leaders and pastors and community change leaders. I can train them on what I've been doing, what I've been in the trenches doing. And so just really going places, offering my time, not making a paycheck, just being present, like you said. People are like, you know what? Yeah, she's legit. She's legit. I've been watching her life, whether it's on social media or I've worshiped with her. I see her heart and I want to be in relationship with her. So again, just be encouraged, everyone. Relationship building is so important. It is the necessary stage before anything else happens in your work life.
100%. 100%. Yeah, I mean, that right there, you talk about like a workshop that we could do together. Mm-hmm. It's probably that one.
Come on.
I think both of us have like been in those seasons of just, we're in the field, and we know the anointing that's on our lives and that God has blessed us with in terms of, gift set, skill set, the ability to see and to know like what God wants us to do. But for right now, we're just shepherding some sheep.
Yep.
And we're in the field just waiting.
Yep.
We're just Jesse's son.
Yes.
That's what we are.
Yes.
And that's okay. To be in that place and to be faithful in that place and to walk out that season. And by the way, I think it's actually pretty healthy for you to almost always feel like you're in that season a little bit. Mm-hmm. That to have that kind of hope for a greater reality that God's gonna open the door for you for. But yeah, I mean the good name thing, a good reputation in ministry and just in life, I think is so valuable. I mean, that's the story of Timothy, right? Paul he's in Lystra, Derbe, right? And there's this boy named Timothy that has a name in two cities.
Yeah.
He got a good name in two cities. And what that tells you is that he was hidden, but he was still active.
Yeah.
Right? Timothy wasn't raised up to that level of leadership like, hey, you're going to pastor the largest church in the world within a couple years, right? And Ephesus, I mean, became basically the senior elder there. But he was active enough in the community. He was serving faithfully. He was, meeting the needs of people who needed their needs met. That people are like, Timothy, he's a good guy. He got a good grandmother,
Yeah.
He got a good dad, mom, like in the faith, and he's showing signs of something. I think that's where you got to start.
Yeah.
I think that's a really, really wise place to start.
Absolutely.
And I think both of us have also done the submit ourselves.
Absolutely.
Right? That just because you're a leader doesn't mean you don't submit.
Absolutely.
And I think that's been a part of our story with Ripe Creatives. Like, hey, we're going to launch this under Artisan Christian Testimony International.
Yeah.
It's made it more difficult in some ways.
Yeah.
Practically with, how to do paperwork and things like that. Or can we get grants? No, we can't get grants from these certain types of things because we're under them. I wouldn't trade it for $1 billion to know that we are submitted.
Absolutely.
We have accountability.
Absolutely.
We have hey, you want to do what? Let's rethink that.
Yeah.
I see that with the younger generation sometimes. I'm like, yo, don't miss.
Yes.
Don't miss, submission is a part of it.
It's a huge part of it. It's a huge part of it. And I can honestly say, I believe I learned that lesson the hard way because, I was in church leadership after church leadership after church leadership. And then in 2017, right when I started the gathering, right when I bought the home and began the gathering place, I stepped out of church leadership and I stepped out of church altogether. And there was a season where I did need to kind of just go back to my foundations and, really practice the Sabbath at home and not be busy, because that's my tendency, is to be a bit of a workaholic. So there was a lot of beautiful things the Lord taught me in the several years where I was like, you know what, I'm just going to lay low, cultivate this gathering place. And I still had influential people in my life. So I never cut those voices out of my life. But I did step out from under some kind of covering. And I think that was a large part of my hiddenness, because, covering grants you relationships sometimes. And it's just the nature of the beast. It's not a negative thing, but it's just the nature of the beast. So after several years of realizing, I think I need to be in a church, like I need to be planted somewhere, I stepped back into the church that I'm a part of now, which I absolutely love. Shout out to Bristol Hope Assembly and Pastor Dave Greenknuckle, literally the best pastor ever. I'm so grateful to be under him. And also my dear friend, Jamie Fitt. Yep. I've been walking with Jamie Fitt and the Philadelphia Tabernacle of David, P. Todd, for almost as long as I've been here. Yeah, for about 13 of the 15 years. And he's just been a constant, steady voice in my life. But stepping back into a church family, can I just say, it has been so important for me in my own growth and guidance in what I'm doing, especially now transitioning out of the gathering place and into Set the Table. It's been invaluable.
Yeah. Amen. 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 Peace. This has been great. Mm-hmm. This has been great. Shout out to the Changemakers Conference for having us both on it. Jamie and Virgy, we appreciate you both. September 12th, 2025. Thank you for giving us an excuse to have a larger conversation. Yeah. Because we have the most niche podcast ever. We talk about dates on our calendar within our ministry, right? We don't just have conversations. But Jared and I, one of our strategies is we pick dates that we're hey, who can we get on?
Oh, I love that.
And so whenever this came up, I was like, Changemakers was great. I don't know, what came out of it for Ripe, but if we could get Peace on the episode, he's like, yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it. So I'm just super glad to have an excuse to have you on. I pray that we do more things together. Yeah, for sure. So that we can have more conversations like this. Yeah. To anybody who's listening to this that supports Ripe Creatives, thank you so much for doing that. Please, please, please do yourself a favor and connect with Peace Ike. Follow her. Listen, you want to be challenged? You want to wake up and get some truth smacked in your face sometimes? Follow her on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the places. Go look her up, Peace Ike. Go look at the website, Set the Table. See if there is something that she provides services-wise that she listed here on this podcast or is listed on her website that you could figure out how to get her involved in your ecosystem. If you're a part of a church, have her come in and do a training. You're a part of a ministry, parachurch, have her come in and do a training. You're a part of a business, have her come in and speak to culture and values. She is fantastic at all of those things. So please, please, please don't miss the opportunity to connect with this young woman. I guess you're older than me, but who's counting? To connect with Peace Ike, she's great. We love her to life. Thanks for coming on, Peace.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, this was fun. It was like a trip down memory lane.
Listen, we won't do it next time because we've already done it once. We can just pick up the conversation about whatever the heck we're doing together. But looking forward to, being a part of things as I can in Philly and vice versa. The nice thing is we run into each other a lot.
We do. We really do. Yeah.
Amen, amen.
Yeah.
Top Mop Productions, thank you for recording, editing, producing, releasing this episode. And thank you for partnering with us, if you already do, to make sure all this stuff is possible. We appreciate y'all. Until next time, stay right.
That's it. Yeah, I'm done with the games. I thought this was
You can learn more about Ripe Creatives and support our ministry by visiting our website, ripecreatives.com. To never miss a future episode, you can join our community text line by texting Time is Ripe to 215-273-3540. Time is Ripe is produced, recorded, edited, and released by Top Mop Productions. We hope you enjoyed today's episode.
purpose. Know that I'm the best to do it when I'm living the service. Once you see light, you understand that sin is whack. Be aware, wolves plotting on the next attack. Armor of God, give me the word, I'm always strapped. My brother's able, never question if I got his back.